Hey, 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 everybody. It's Sheila and Dawn with Elevate Your Online Biz, and we are so excited that you are joining us today for the Overwhelm Intervention, the 7 steps to success. And we're just going to kind of take turns today. We're going to talk to you. We're going to answer your questions, and we're going to give you an awesome download and introduce you to a few really cool things. And we're looking forward to hearing your questions. So if you have questions, be sure and ask those in the chat. How are you doing today, Dawn?
I'm doing all right. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm really excited to sit here and present this to you guys because this is an effort that is very close and personal to our hearts.
Yeah, it's awesome. We are so stoked to be here with you guys today. So we're just going to dive right in, you guys. There's like this whole big thing, right, Dawn, that you read about. I'm going to share my desktop here with you guys. Where there's like, in the first 5 minutes, you have to do this, and in the next 5 minutes, you have to do this. And here's the way Dawn and I see it, and you let me know, Dawn, if it's different for you. But Dawn and I are a lot of alike in that, holy snot, let's just start the program, get you guys going, get you back to your busy, busy lives, and we're not going to go into the whole big spiel about, from 5 minutes to this and 10 minutes to that. So I think we're just going to dive right in. What do you think, Dawn?
Sure, absolutely. Did you want to give them a little bit of a background on us and how we got together and why we're doing this together?
Absolutely, and here we go. So basically, we are two moms on a mission. I live on the West Coast, Dawn lives on the East Coast, and we met in LinkedIn. Dawn posted this amazing article about making Twitter headers, and I used her step-by-step process to create my new Twitter header. This was Twitter header changes ago. I believe it's been a while, and we hit it off. I mean, we're moms on a mission. We're determined to be able to work from home, to be available to our children, to live the lives that we've always dreamed of, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we got on the phone and we started talking and we really bonded and it developed and here we are now doing this project together. But I think the main thing that goes along with the Moms on a Mission is that we just had a lot of similarities with coming out of careers and wanting to start our online business and taking care of our families and bringing our husbands home so that they could stay home with their families. And so it's just been a really awesome partnership. So
yeah, it's been a ride. We actually met, it's been almost 2 years ago, and we basically have been accountability partners, business partners. We've been really great friends. We finally met in person in Boston in September, which was awesome, by the way. And we have learned a lot from each other, and we've learned a lot through a lot of our processes as building our own online and offline businesses. And so this is why we've come together to start something together that we can help other online businesses as well. And so we hope that you guys will love our new brand, Elevate Your Online Biz. But for today, let's just focus on you guys. Let's go through the 7 steps to success. So what we're going to cover is we're going to cover the top 3 things you need to do that will save you time, the top 3 marketing mistakes that you can change immediately, and the #1 thing you need to do now to activate your vision. And this is something that Dawn and I talk about from the first we met. We talked about activating our vision, and this is a big thing for us, and we want you to be able to activate your vision and have the business that you love. So first off, top 3 things you need to do to save you time. So this is how I see it. This is what I do. This is what works for me, and I believe actually since I started doing it and started talking to Dawn about it, she's been doing it as well, and a lot of my coaching clients do it this way as well, and so I know it doesn't just work for me, and it will work for you as well. So for me, it is doing make the big to-do list. So doing the big brain dump. So this is how I do it. First off, I go and I grab a piece of paper, and yeah, I still believe in doing this the old school way. Get a piece of paper and I write out every single thing I need to do, and included in that thing of everything I don't want, just write the list of I need to have a webinar, and I need to write a book, and I need to do this, I need to do that. I actually write down every single step that I need to do, and that list right now, just so that you guys know, my big to-do list has almost 150 things on it. And so I list every single step, and then I prioritize those steps so that I have at the very top the very first things that I want to do. So let me just review my list a little bit with you. So the very first things on the top of my list are things that will make me money. The next things that are on my list are things that will keep my business growing. And the next things are the things that I need to be doing that maybe I probably should be hiring out, right? So like a few little tweaks on my website or creating a new product that I have outlined and maybe somebody can help me design it, whatever it is. But I put those in priority. So I use it Basecamp. I create a to-do list. Right now my very top to-do list is the book I'm writing. And so I have that on top, and then underneath that the subtasks, each step for writing this book, and I have a goal and a deadline. And so that's the first thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. So I just have this huge, enormous list. And then every time I look at this list, I kind of get that. Like I feel like I'm going to throw up, right? You know, Dawn, that list.
I know that. I know that feeling.
You get that list and you're like start shaking and you're like I need a Coke and I need help and I'm never going to be able to get it done, and I start panicking and whatever. So then that leads you right into step number 2, which is looking at the important picture. You can't do all those 150 things. You can only do one thing at a time. So prioritize, decide what you want to do, and just do one thing. If you try and multitask, and I'm the worst with this because if my computer is slower than me, if I'm waiting on my computer to do something, my brain will wander onto something else and I'll go start doing something else. So actually, before I got my Mac, I had a 17-inch screen. I actually had 2 projects up at one time, all the time going. And I found that I was making a lot of mistakes and missing some steps, and my client work was suffering and my own work was suffering. But what is the important picture? So determining what that one thing, so you already have your big to-do list, you've already brain dumped, you don't have to think about that stuff anymore. What you need to be thinking about is that one top priority thing at a time. And I always try and make sure that I do 3 things every day. One of the things is to make sure I'm doing something to make money. The second thing I do is something that's going to develop and grow my business. And I always put my family on that top 3 list as well. So hopefully you guys are making the important picture, also including your family. So the third thing that you need to do to save you time is every night before I go to bed, I look at my big, monstrous, make me want to vomit to-do list. I prioritize it to the top 3 things, and that includes subcategories, you guys. So if in one category, you know, writing my book, if I can do one of the things from that list and one of the things from the next list and one of the things from the next list, those are my top 3 things. And I try and get those done before noon if I can. But one of the things that I've learned recently in the last few months is to do this power hour thing, if you guys have heard of this before, where I actually, for 1 solid hour, I work on my list of 3 things for that day, and I just do that only. And for that hour, I don't check my email, I don't answer my phone, my poor husband, I don't answer my texts, I don't, you know, if it's the kids, it's an emergency, you do that, but you make that hour a priority, and then you go take a break, go for a walk, get something to eat, get something to drink, work on something else that's fun, whatever it is. So for 3 solid hours every day in 3 different blocks, I work on the business. So at least I know that I've gotten something done. But if anything happens, so if you guys are like me, hey, I'm a mom of 8 kids. I've got an awesome husband. I'm really blessed after being a single mom of 5 kids for several years. Now I have an awesome husband. I've got 3 more kids. We live in the middle of nowhere. And the online world, as you guys know, is sometimes a little bit lonely. Thank heavens I have Dawn, who is my biggest supporter. And I get really depressed. And on those days where I feel like I cannot get out of bed, I do not want to work on my business. I don't want to, the only thing I want to do is sit and cuddle with my kids. I don't want to do anything else, and I just sit and eat chocolate all day. I make sure that I at least do one thing on my business, Monday through Friday. I take Saturdays and Sundays off. If I don't get anything done on Saturday and Sunday, that's fine. But I make sure I at least do one thing every day. And if all that is cleaning out my email, or reading over my to-do list and preparing for the next day, or talking to Dawn and saying, "Hey, Dawn, I'm having a crappy day. How's your day going?" And it's funny because we're kind of off from each other. So like she'll be having an awesome day, which will bring me up, and hopefully I'm having an awesome day when she contacts me if she's having a rotten day. And that happens. You have to have somebody to talk to, which is one of the reasons why we want to build the Elevate Your Online Biz community, so that we have like-minded people going through the same things. So at least make sure you're doing one thing every day to take action. And that is my number one for you guys. So now, Dawn, with the awesome marketing.
Absolutely. So these are the top three things that you want to avoid. Now, how do I scroll? Okay.
Yeah, you'll have to tell me when you're ready for a new tab.
Okay, thank you. So these are very simple, common mistakes. I think that we all jump into our business. There is no manual for everybody's entrepreneurial journey. I mean, the whole reason behind our entrepreneurial journey is that it's a unique business. Everybody's business is unique. So we don't jump in with this manual. So these are the things that I think are just most commonly missed, and that's planning, implementing, and tracking. And I know that these are very, very simple steps, and I think that they are just the foundation for a successful marketing strategy. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this. So as far as the planning strategy, think about what type of marketing resonates with you. I mean, I think people clump all the different types of marketing into one just umbrella term, marketing. You know, I'm going to market. And they think they have to go out there and they think they have to blog, and they have to, of course, you've got to have a website, you've got to blog, and you've got to do social media, and you've got to do email marketing. And what about offline marketing and print marketing? And there's just so many different things. And that's the very first thing you should think. Let's go over some of the different types of marketing. And I will preface this by saying this is not at all a comprehensive list. These are just some of the major types of marketing, and you might call them something else, or there's some I'm missing, or some bleed into one another. But basically, you've got education marketing, and education marketing is establishing yourself as an expert in your industry. And you can do this in different ways. You can do this with live trainings, you can do this with online webinars, kind of like what we're doing here. You can do this by writing articles and contributing blog posts. There's a lot of different ways that you can do education marketing, but that is one form of marketing. And what we're doing here is I want you to hear these descriptions and these different types of marketing and kind of think about whether this is aligned with what you like to do and how you like to do things. So education marketing is one very effective strategy. The next type of marketing is content marketing, and this can be similar, right? So content marketing is the publishing of any kind of content on the web. So it would be doing social media content, doing blog posts, creating content for emails. So it's the publishing of any kind of content. The next kind of marketing I want to talk about is relationship marketing. Now, this is my favorite type of marketing, right? Because when I first started in this business, I felt like marketing was one of those. I really thought that marketing and advertising were synonymous, and they're really not. It's completely different. And for me, there's the opposite of relationship marketing is transactional marketing. And the difference between the two is that relationship marketing is all about developing relationships and then the sales follow, whereas transactional marketing is all about sell, 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 sell. Well, when I first started in business, that was a lot of what I came up against. A lot of people were in transactional marketing mode, and that might fit with your personality. For me, I didn't like that. It didn't feel good. It didn't align with who I was. So relationship marketing is what I really center all of my marketing strategies on. And it's all about forming that bond between you and your audience, you and your prospects, your clients, and really selling and building your entire sales on that relationship. And I will tell you that when you do build that relationship, those people will spend more and they'll spend more often. The next type would be offline marketing. And this is this can span a lot of things, but what I'm referring to is going to networking meetings, doing live trainings, live events. I think that especially if you have a local market, and even if you have a national market, you have a local market. So getting out there in your local community and making contacts and doing the networking, it's amazing how just putting yourself out there in the local community can really create so many different branches for you. So that's another type of marketing. We've also got search marketing. Now this is all about SEO. So you might be, this is a really good campaign type of marketing strategy for people whose services are like necessities. And what I mean by that is like a plumber, right? Your pipes burst, you need a plumber. You go look on the internet. You need somebody to construction to come in and build an addition on your home. You get online and you start looking. So that's very important. Search marketing is very important for that type of an industry. The next type of marketing is email marketing. And email marketing, as we well know, can be email blasts, sending out newsletters. You could distribute your blog posts this way. Next type of marketing is direct mail and print marketing. And this is becoming less of a strategy because online has really taken over the marketing world. But a lot of people still might benefit from using direct mail or advertising in magazines or newspapers. So that you want to think about whether or not that might do well for your business. The next type of marketing is, well, that was it. Okay, so based on all of those different types of marketing, and there's a lot more, there's an example of another one would be cause marketing. Tom's Shoes does cause marketing where they've aligned their company values with a cause that resonates with their market. So every time you buy a pair of shoes, they donate a pair of shoes. So there are definitely a ton more types of marketing, but these are a lot of the basic kinds of marketing, and I think we kind of skip over that. We really just think we need to be everywhere and we just need to be marketing. So figure out what works best with who you are. And what I mean by that is if you're the type of person that does not like Facebook and you can't stand getting on there, and every time you have to get on there, it's like a drudgery, it's not going to work for you. It's not sustainable. So what works best with your personality? Like I said before, it's kind of like that relationship marketing. That fits with the kind of person that I am. So I know that that works best for me. Then you want to go out there and you want to look at what other industry competitors are doing. And in order to do this research, it's at our fingertips these days. You just get on the web and you look up your industry and you look up the major players in the industry and see where they are. It's very easy to do an analysis of your competitors and see what social media platforms they're on, what kind of blogging strategies they're putting into place. You can sign up for their newsletter list and see what kind of newsletters you get, what the structure is and all that stuff. That kind of research is so important. I remember reading, I'm not a fan of Walmart, but I read Sam Walton's book, and he talked about when he started Walmart, that he would go into the store across the street and he would just watch what they were doing. It's like spying. But that gives you lots of insight into what other people are doing and what you need to be doing. So watch, listen, watch what everybody's doing. Where are your customers? Do some customer research. You look at these industry competitors, right? Well, look at the reviews. What is it that people are saying about your competitors? You're going to find some really valuable nuggets in that information. When you read these reviews, people talk about what's valuable to them, whether it's price, whether it's their professionalism, whether it's that they were clean, whether their communication skills. That's going to give you some really valuable insight into what is important for your market. So doing all of that research into who you are and what your market is doing and what your prospects are doing, and really paying attention to that and taking notes and getting that clarity is going to give you a lot of insight moving forward. So the next step that a lot of people fail at in marketing and we want to avoid is the implementation. And I don't mean this in the sense of the word as like implementation. Yeah, people do it, but do you do it with consistency, with that plan? And do you do it on a schedule, like regularly. So what you need to do first, the first thing into the implementation phase of it, is to make sure that you do, well,
Sorry.
that's okay, which make sure that you do the proper setup of it. So once you decide what kind of marketing aligns with you, then you will decide where you need to be, where your customers are, what other industry leaders are doing, if they're on Facebook, if Twitter is a better platform for you. Really look and see where people are and what's working for them, and decide to do two or three things, because you can't do it all. You really dilute your efforts. Unless we're talking to people who have big budgets where you can hire a staff and come out of the gate where you've got a marketing team, then so be it. Then you can be everywhere. But most solopreneurs and small businesses need to pick two or three things and do that well. So you might pick social media, email marketing, and search engine optimization. I'm just pulling those three things out. And then you do those things and you do them well. So the first part of it was the setup, making sure you do a proper setup. So once you choose where you need to be, properly set up your platforms, whether it's blogging, your email marketing. Make sure that you set yourself up for success and it's consistent with your brand. Figure out what your message is. Make sure that that is consistent across all of your marketing methods. Then the next thing that I had on there was,
Is there a way to go back? I'm sorry, I might go
no,
forward.
that's okay. It's the next thing to do is to set a schedule, and I think I remember everything. And then the next thing you have to do is you have to set a schedule. So in order to make sure that you're doing this consistently and routinely, you have to come up with a content publishing schedule. So the way that I did this is I set up a time, like I'm going to do email marketing. I know I'm going to do that Tuesdays at 11 a.m. and I'm going to do that once a month. So you put it on the calendar, you block it off, and you honor that schedule. Now, another way, like for social media, Mondays at 9 a.m., I spend an hour doing social media. Now I have an idea of how many posts I'm going to put out there every day. I'm going to do 2 to 5 posts daily. I'm going to do it every Monday at 9 a.m. And I have a theme that I do a marketing tip, I share somebody else's content, and I do marketing. I do marketing tips. I do share somebody else's comments, and I do questions. So you have a theme. So figure out what that is for you and stick to it. It makes things a lot easier. So the scheduling, make sure that you do it consistently. I'll say that when I started doing social media, I did a Monday marketing challenge every Monday for 6 months before anybody ever even answered. And I tell you that the day that I was going to quit, I said, this is the last day I'm going to do it. And by God, somebody commented, and that started it. And it really blew up. Facebook became my #1 lead generator. So stick with it. Don't do something for a week and then decide, well, I'm not seeing any results from it. It's not working. So consistency is key. And then the last thing is to evolve, and to evolve with that, with that strategy, and watch what you're doing, see what's working, and continue to change and swing with the punches. So now the biggest 3 mistakes that people make, we said, was the lack of planning, the lack of implementation, and the lack of tracking. And what I mean by tracking is your analytics. So you really need to make sure that you are constantly monitoring your statistics, whether it's for your website, whether it's for your social media, your SEO and your current rankings, but constantly track your progress. Make it a priority. A lot of people, I can't tell you, it's every time I ask a client when I do a website, do you have Google Analytics? Yes, I have Google Analytics. Well, have you looked at Google Analytics? No, I haven't. Hardly anybody ever checks it. And I'm telling you, there are so many valuable pieces of information that are vital to an effective marketing strategy. You have to track your analytics. There are plenty of resources out there to learn how to use it. Get somebody, even if you schedule a session with somebody who knows how to use it, so that you can just learn how to do it on your own and empower yourself. If that's one step that you take, I highly recommend that you do it. So make it a priority. Benchmark your progress. Decide what kind of goals that you want to, when you look at things and you say, okay, this is how much traffic I have coming in. Now, this percentage of it is coming in from Facebook. These are the efforts I'm making on Facebook. Well, I want to see a 10% increase in the next month, and here's what I'm going to do to achieve that. After that month, you schedule your time every month to do your analytics. At the end of the month, you look at your progress and you benchmark your progress. I can do this with, let's say, like my SEO. So if I'm doing an SEO strategy, I can go in my Google Analytics, I can look in there, I can see that I've had an increase in traffic to the blog post that I optimized. That means it's working. So many people just throw things against the wall and hope they stick. It's important to benchmark your progress. And then again, evolve accordingly. If you're not willing to change or don't even know that you need to change, then it's very hard to be successful. So make sure that as you're watching your progress, you're willing to evolve based on the statistics. And that's absolutely one of the most important things that you can do.
Okay, so that leaves us with the number one thing you need to do now to activate your vision. And this is a big one. And like I said before, Don and I actually talk about activating our vision. This is something that you need to work on every single day. Every day, you need to put action in your vision. So I think the first step of activating your vision is actually knowing what your vision is. And the activation part is actually within you. This is different for every person. For me, it's just simply to do it, especially on those days where I'm really suffering, having a hard time getting out of bed, having a hard time just turning on the computer. I don't want to talk to anybody, which, when you live in the middle of nowhere like I do, it's kind of easy to do. But if you get online, we've got people who rely on us, who need us. So for me, to activate my vision is just simply to do that one thing every day. So, Dawn, what is it that activates your vision? And we'd love to hear from you guys, too, what activates your vision is. But
Well,
for everybody, I think it's different.
yeah, it is. I think it is different. I think the one piece of advice that I could give about activating your vision is to remember that imperfect action is better than no action at all, right? I mean, there's many variations of that phrase, perfect, what is it, done is better than perfect. And I think about that a lot. I think about the thing that separates when I get down on myself and I don't want to do something, or I'm scared to do something, which is a big thing, right? Fear is a big motivator. So when I think that, I look at people who are #1 New York Times bestsellers, or they're speakers, and they're going across the country, and they're doing all these different speaking engagements for 20K a pop, or whatever, or plus 20K plus, and I think about what's the difference between them and us being all of you, everybody out there, right? Well, the difference is that they're doing it. That's it. It's that simple. They're just doing it.
I think the key word in activate your vision is the activate part. We all have to determine what it is that's keeping us from taking action and just do it, because we have to make a decision. I make a decision every single day that I want to be an entrepreneur. I do not want to work for anybody else. I would rather work 100-hour weeks than work 1 hour for somebody else. Just the thought of going back to work for somebody else scares me right back into doing what I'm afraid of, which is the parts of being an entrepreneur, is putting yourself out there. Like you said, it may not be perfect. We have made mistakes. We continually make mistakes. We learn from those mistakes. But we're growing. Our businesses are growing. We're growing as people. Dawn and I were talking this morning. I was telling her, I'm like, I feel like my brain has been bleeding all year because I have learned so much this year, and it's really just been one foot in front of the other, overstepping the fears, taking action every single day, little by little by little. And so different things will help different people to activate your vision for sure. So let me go over here and see. So it doesn't look like we have any questions yet, Dawn. And and I'm sorry, my camera, I have to be so close to my computer to be able to see it. But what we would really like to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and share my desktop again. And we're going to introduce you to Elevate Your Online Biz. Is it going to let me do it? Here we go. So let me know if you can see my screen, Dawn.
I can.
Elevate. So we want you guys to go take a look at it, because we have some really exciting things that we have planned for Elevate Your Online Biz. We are still in the super pre-launch, but what we're doing is we're developing a place where those who want to come and activate their vision, who want to elevate their business, who want to have the success that Dawn and I enjoy on a daily basis, being able to work for ourselves and get up and do what we want to do and build the business that we want to build. And if that changes tomorrow, then it changes tomorrow. But we are determined to elevate our business and have our vision experienced on a daily basis. So that's why we're bringing you Elevate Your Online Biz. So we'd love for you guys to go take a look. On this first page, you're going to be able to see the breakdown of the benefits that we're going to be bringing you. If you click on each one, it gives you a little bit more explanation. We also have opportunities for you to become a founding member. We would love for you to join us as a founding member. There's lots of benefits to becoming a member, and so just go ahead and take a look at that. Also, we have some coaching, and this is one thing that we're really promoting over the next 2 weeks. The number one thing is to success in 2015. So Dawn and I have done this for ourselves, for Elevate Your Biz. We've also done it for our own businesses. We have sat down and created a plan, and I'm telling you, Dawn, I don't know about you, but I feel so empowered already knowing what every month is going to bring me next year. Now, of course, that's going to change, right? Like, life happens and whatever. But we already know what theme we have for the month, how much money we want to make, how much we have to work for that, what we have to do, what each step is, what we need to do each week, what each one of our tasks is going to be, which one of us is going to do the newsletter, which one of us is going to work on social media, how soon are we going to hire a project manager. We've already planned out our content marketing, we've already planned out our finances, we've already planned out all of those steps are planned out for next year, and I feel so empowered. And so we want to invite you guys to join us for a Success in 2015 2-hour strategy session. Now, the seating is really limited on this because we want to keep the group small. There will be either Dawn or myself, maybe, who knows, we'll both join in depending on the time of it, but we're only going to have 5 entrepreneurs in each group, and we're going to help you over those 2 hours plan out your entire year. We're going to give you the templates to use, we're going to give you the checklist, we're going to give you the planner, and we're going to show you how we did this through Google Docs so that we can share it and we can see it no matter where we are. And so we would love for you to join us for this Success in 2015 2-hour strategy call. It's $47. We're going to do it on a Google Hangout, so it's recorded. You can go back and follow it. You don't have to tell the other people on the call your numbers if you don't want. We're just going to you can ask us questions about your programs, your services, whatever it is. We've got 2 open spots in November, this Saturday and next Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're also going to be opening some slots by popular demand in December. So what we want you to do is go ahead and sign up so you can save your spot, and then let us know when you sign up. There's a little place for you to enter 3 dates and times that you're available, and then we'll put some groups together for December. And so, Dawn, do you have anything to add to that? I mean, I'm excited about helping other people get planned, and man,
No,
I know I
absolutely.
feel empowered. Like,
Yeah.
this is the first year I've done this. It's ridiculous. It was the first year I've done it, and I feel like Wonder freaking Woman.
Yeah, well, it's that clarity and that focus that makes you, you talked a lot about that in the presentation about like doing the brain dump. So when you're able to put that out on paper and get it out of your brain and into a clear and focused strategy, it really, really makes moving forward so much easier and more effective.
Absolutely. I mean, we already know, we're already starting to work this month on what's going to happen in January, and then next month we're going to start on what's happening in February. So instead of waking up one morning, like, I don't know about you, Don, I fly the seat of my pants sometimes. I'll wake up one morning and go, oh, I have an idea, and I try and implement it all in one day, and then it flops or whatever.
Well, it's very stressful.
Yeah, and being ahead of the game, like, I feel I'm so excited for the first time for 2015. For the new year. Usually I'm dreading the end of the year, but man, I am so stoked for 2015. So we really want you guys to join us for this VIP coaching. But also take a look. We have our About page here set up where you can learn a little bit more about Elevate Your Online Biz, as well as a little bit more about Dawn and myself. And get this, if you become a founding member, you also get to join our About page and have all of the other benefits. So we've got only 20 spots available for founding members. You guys are the first ones to hear about it, and So take a look at that. And also, if you want to take our survey, it'd really help us out to make sure that we're creating the programs that you want. Where we've already planned our year next year, if we need to make some changes to make sure we're giving you what you want, this is where you're going to give us your feedback. You're going to fill out this survey, and we're going to know what it is exactly that you need. So Elevate Your Online Biz will become a beautiful resource for you, where you can come and get the help that you need. So Donna, you want to talk a little bit about the group that we're going to be having and how that's going to be growing?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now what we've got is we've got our private mastermind group, and we're going to be doing that on Facebook. And the benefit of this is that it's a completely spam-free networking group, and the groups have been an amazing way to crowdsource ideas, to get support and inspiration, which is so important in our business, is to get that support in a positive environment. And it's also going to be a good place where we're going to put lots of resources in the file section. We're going to have lots of templates. We're going to put the content publishing template, the marketing assessment. We'll have all kinds of resources in that group. And it'll really just give you an opportunity to reach out there and meet a lot of other entrepreneurs, like-minded entrepreneurs that are just like you, struggling with the same thing. You can share your successes, get support for your challenges, and really help each other to elevate your business.
Yeah, you know what? How many times do you go to a family member or a friend and you say, "Oh, my autoresponder is not working. I am losing people off my lists left and right," or "My landing page is just not converting," and they look at you like you just spoke to them in Chinese, right?
Right.
And that's what these groups are for. This group plays for supporting you, for people who speak your speak, people who've been through the things that you've been through, who can give you the feedback that you need. There are going to be some competitors in there that you can learn from. There's going to be some people that you can sell to. It's going to be a place where you can share everything about you and your business, and it's a safe place where, you know, we're not going to kick you out for sharing your landing page. I know there's a lot of groups like that. If you share your landing page for feedback, a lot of groups will only let you share a picture of it. We want you to share the whole thing. We want to tell you if the buttons are working or if they're not working or how the colors are working or whatever. So, you know, these groups, and then we have group calls too, which is going to be awesome. Once a month, we'll have group calls where you can ask live questions and everything. So take a look at Elevate Your Online Biz. Click on over to the VIP coaching is where you're going to find the Success 2015 2-hour session that we are quickly filling up and super excited to have you become a part of, where we can get to know you. And you don't have to be a member to sign up for that Success in 2015. We would love for you to be a member, and like you said, the first 20 founding members get a lot of benefits there as well. So I know for me this has been a fantastic 40 minutes. We haven't had much over here, which is just fine. That sometimes, you know, a lot of people don't like to talk in the chat, and that's okay, but I've enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys have too, and you've learned some, at least take one thing from everything that we've talked about. Take at least one thing and try and implement that. And if that one thing is to figure out what it is that you need to do to activate your vision, that one thing, whether it's posting like a big picture that says, "This is why I'm doing it," or "This is my why," or I actually have a sign that says, "I'm going to have a dollar amount, certain dollar amount month of sales by the end of the year," and that's how I activate my vision. I look at that every morning and I think, okay, I'm going to work towards this goal, and just get up and do one thing.
Fantastic. We're so glad. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you on Elevate Your Online Biz.
Bye, everybody.